Hello and welcome to another installment of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of June 25th, 2014. So, a lot of books, so let's get started. Lots of books. I believe I counted it took home 30 books. So first on the list is All-Star Western number 32. All-Star Western is awesome. It is also being canceled. Boo, DC, boo. But Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti have been doing an amazing job on this book. So if you are interested in getting into it, the trades are out. Go pick those up. It's awesome. Next up is Aquaman number 32. Wow, there we go. I'm going to get used to this. Aquaman 32. Aquaman basically has been good since Johns left it. It didn't have a fall off like the Green Lantern book. So in this one it appears that Mera is marked for death. So yeah, Aquaman, check it out. Next up is Batman number 32, 0 year final act. Basically, 0 years been going on for a year, and some people have not liked the pacing of it. It's too much. It's a really good title. Yes, it's been going on way too long. Definitely could have used some double shipping, but still really good. So check it out, Batman 32. And then we're on week 12 of Batman Eternal. Batman Eternal 12 comes out this week. I'm actually behind in my reading of Batman Eternal. Summertime has not been. I don't have as much time to read books that I need to get through, yeah, so I have a whole couple of these to read, but it's alright because it's good stuff and it comes out weekly. So next up is Catwoman number 32. I've been enjoying Catwoman a little bit. This current story arc with the Race of Thieves is okay. The first one was grabbed me, but the second title or the second issue in it kind of floundered a little bit, so hopefully the pacing picks back up with this issue. Next up is Flash number 32. Basically, Flash from the future is coming back to the past, but along the way he's killing his arch enemies. It's really interesting stuff. Wally West is being introduced in this, so it's been a really fun ride to see what the New 52 Wally West is like and to get a really good Flash story out of it. So yeah, so Flash, pick it up. Next up is Justice League number 31. 31, yes, 31, not 32. That means this book has not shipped properly. But it's okay. Johns has been doing amazing on this book. The story's been really solid. Curious to see where it goes. Apparently the power ring from the Crime Syndicate universe has picked another ring bearer, so we'll see how that develops in this title. But really good stuff. Check it out. Next up is Justice League Dark number 32. Talked with Ryan about this title briefly before I left the shop today. Numbers have fallen down on it, and I think that's due to the Blight story arc that was going on during Forever Evil. It crossed over with a couple of the other titles, Constantine, Phantom Stranger, and I believe Trinity of Sin, Pandora. But it was drawn out, long-winded, and I think people got a little tired of it, so I think that's where the numbers have fallen off. But Justice League Dark is still a really good title, still really great to see this hodgepodge of magic characters from the DC Universe together as a team. But yeah, Justice League Dark. Next up, we're on week 8 of New 52 Future's End. Just like Batman Eternal, I'm slightly behind on this title. I know the sales at Comics Conspiracy have dropped down a little bit. I think that's due to the fact that this title has the pacing of it is very. There's like 3 or 4 stories that happen in the book, so it's easy to kind of not feel like you've gotten a fill when you read this title. But I've still been enjoying it. I think that reading it in chunks is probably going to be the best way to read it. But of course, if you're not picking it up, your shop might not order as many, so later issues might not have any on the shelves when you go to buy them. So if you're still interested in getting Futures End, let your shop know that you want it. You might not pick it up every week, but you're going to pick it up. So yeah, and if you're a saver or subscriber at a shop, tell them to put it on your list if it's not on your list. But Futures End, see where it goes. Next up is a new number 1 from Robert Kirkman called Outcast. I'm going to see what this title's all about. Ryan actually pointed out to me earlier that this book is cut funny. Like, if you look at this, it doesn't fill the bag and board. Now, my next title, I'll be able to show you a image book that fills it. So, but don't know if this is an error off the printing press. Don't know if this was on purpose. But if you do notice this, we don't know what it is yet. So it could just be it came off the printers like that, or they might just be deciding to cut their books a little bit, thinner. So yeah. But Outcast, I'm gonna see where it goes. See if it's good. Next up is Saga number 20. Saga is amazing. If you are not reading it, you need to be reading it. It's really, really good. If you have kids, or you need to read this. If you've ever been in love, you need to read this. If you like fantasy, you need to read this. If you like sci-fi, you need to read this. The list goes on and on. But Saga, it's really, really good. And I'll put it up close. So you see how this fills? Right? It fills it up a little bit more. So I'm not sure what's going on with that Outcast issue, but we'll see. Next up is Secret Origins number 3. Green Lantern appears in this one, Batwoman, and Red Robin. So, New 52 origins of characters. I've been enjoying the first 2 issues, so I'm keeping going with this title. It is a little bit pricey at $5, but you're getting 3 stories. So, it's your decision, but it's also your wallet. So yeah. Next up is Sex number 14. I'm going to warn you now, this cover is very phallic. Very phallic. Bam! Yep, that works for it too. So, Sex. It's still interesting. It's still kind of this very in-depth view of a retired superhero vigilante guy, and his getting back to real society, but also the draw of his past life. Not to mention, it's mixed with tons of sex and sex-related things and all that stuff. Really deep, really interesting. So yeah, Sex 14. Next up is the weakest of the Valiant titles, and yes, I am saying a Valiant title is weak. Shadow Man End Times number 3. Shadow Man, out of all of them, has been the weakest title. I think sales on it are definitely the lowest. I think the character suffered from creative changes and shifts at certain points. The initial story arc in Sandman is really, really good. This End Times one is about him hunting down his father, who is still alive. Sorry about that spoiler if you haven't read it, but whatever. So yeah, Shadow Man End of Times number 3. I still pick it up. I'm still enjoying it, so I'm one of the few that actually pick up this title. So, and next up, another number 3. We have Sinestro number 3. Sinestro was supposed to disappear after the Johns run, but they've brought him back. This is the only Lantern book I pick up currently. It's been really, really good. It's written by Killian Bunn. So yeah, Sinestro. Boom. Next up is Exo Manowar number 26. Armor Hunters is continuing in this issue. So we'll see where that story arc goes. It's been set up really, really well in the previous Exo Manowar book, and I believe last week there was an Armor Hunters number 1, which I haven't actually gotten to read yet, but this is going to continue that story, so I'm looking forward to it. So that was my pull list for this week. This is the stuff that I actually took home, and I'm probably not going to get to reading because summertime I don't get a chance to read much. But yeah. So next up, I'm going to give you the nice variants that came out, the Bombshell ones. The Bombshell variants are continuing, and this is supposed to be the last week, but we think there are 2 that still haven't shipped. Those 2 that haven't shipped are the one for Justice League from this for Justice League 32, which is out at the end of next month. And Batman and Superman title is supposed to get a Bombshell variant, but didn't. So Aquaman got a Bombshell variant, very nice Ocean Highway with Mara, yummy. Next up is the Batman one with Joker's daughter, Mask of Joker, fabulous freak show, awesome. Then you have Catwoman got one, gotta have a Catwoman one. Yep, and it's Catwoman magazine. Crack of the whip. So yeah. Then we have Ryan's favorite is the Flash one, Big Belly Burger. It's just a really, really cool, simple pinup one here, but awesome. Then we have Zatannas from Justice League Dark number 32. So yeah. And then we have Superman got it, which I will get to Superman on my read list. But Superman had one. Number one newspaper, Metropolis, the Daily Planet. Looks good. I enjoy it, so I picked it up. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for the Bombshell variants. Hopefully, we will be able to get those other two in soonish, rather than later. But who knows about that? Remember, there are, for Batman's anniversary, Batman variants coming out. I forgot what month that is. But there is going to be a month where there are going to be a whole bunch of Batman variants for books. So if you're interested in those, contact Ryan at Ryan at comicsconspiracy.biz and tell him that you're interested in getting those. I think the orders have been placed already, so doing sets might not be something that's feasible, but I think Ryan will, if you're looking for something that he can accommodate, he will. All right, so next up, we're on to my read list. Yay! Lots of books. So, first up on my read list is Amazing Spider-Man number 3 is out. Again, I've been trying to do the Amazing Spider-Man since Peter Parker's back. It's been okay. Still Dan Slott writing. Dan Slott's a good writer for Spider-Man. I think that this Spider-Man character needs a little bit of breathing room and a little bit more of a different take at times, but checking it out, and it's still okay. Next up is Cowl number 2. Read the first issue, it was really interesting, but it left off very awkwardly at the end of that title, so we'll see where Cowl number 2 takes us, and if I keep reading it. Next up is not canceled, but they definitely have different costumes. It's Fantastic Four number 6. This is the original Sin tie-in issue. So we'll see what happens with the exposure to apparently the eyeball of the Watcher. If you haven't been reading Original Sin, you really need to. Don't worry about picking up issue 0. Read issue 1. And it's up to 4 now. But Original Sin Fantastic Four, Robinson's been doing a good job, so we'll check it out. Next up is Guardians of the Galaxy number 16. Bendis' run on Guardians has been okay. There hasn't really been any solid story from Guardians. It's kind of just been something happens and then something else happens, and it's not really anything grandiose. We actually had a customer come into the shop today to ask about Guardians and where to start because they're interested in seeing the movie. And I had to give them the sticker shock of the Annihilation Omnibus, which was $125, and that was a little hard to swallow. I told them about the digital way to read it, which is to pick up the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is the Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning series, which is where you should really start if you want to get into this Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. Unfortunately, Marvel does not really know how to do their trades very well, so the books, there's 2 volumes coming out of the Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning stuff after the movie comes out, not before the movie comes out. I don't know why. There is a percentage of people that want to read stuff before they go see something. Definitely missing out on an opportunity there, Marvel. So yeah, but Comixology should have those titles up for you to check out. And they may have a sale right before the movie comes out, so you can go to our digital storefront. If you go to comicsconspiracy.biz and click on the digital comics link, that will take you to the digital storefront, and you can help support the shop by buying through there. And if you subscribe, you don't have to worry about getting your books all every month or every week, and they will automatically be bought and purchased for you and charged for you. So we still get a cut if you do that. So thank you for that. Next up is New Warriors number 6. Ryan loves the New Warriors. I'm not loving the New Warriors, especially the last issue was horrid. Hopefully this issue redeems itself a little bit. Thor is in this issue, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, New Warriors, it's been okay. The last issue was not, so see if this one keeps my interest. Next up is Peter Panzerfaust, number 19. This book's amazing. Numbers have dropped off on it, but it's still a really good title, still solid. So Peter Panzerfaust, I need to pick up that hardcover of the first 2 volumes. Awesome. Next up is Red Lanterns, number 32. As you can tell, Trosicus is back. He wants revenge. Lantern books are still the Red Lantern book with the Red Daughter of Krypton has been okay, but we'll see where this one goes. Next up is Serenity, Leaves on the Wind. I've really been enjoying this. It just continues the story after the movie, but it's really, really good. You cannot support the store by buying it digitally, but you can, if you want, you can call us and order it from there. But yeah, Serenity, check it out. It's good stuff. Next up is a book that will probably not be on my read list after this issue, due to the fact of just low sales. Solar Man in the Autumn has been a really low seller at the Comics Conspiracy. It's been okay. It's not anything grandiose, but it's been an interesting read. We'll see how interesting it is after this issue, but I'm pretty much probably done because we are not going to get a copy for me to check out. Next up is the book that everybody's been waiting for, especially if, well, I don't know if you're waiting for it, but it's definitely been over-advertised in DC Comics for the past couple months. It's the Sideways splash page ad for Superman number 32, written by Geoff Johns. Yay! Art by John Romita Jr. Boo! This book, Superman titles have been suffering in the New 52. Superman Unchained is doing okay, but overall the Superman family books have not been doing very well. Johns is coming in to revitalize that, but they picked an artist that's going to alienate a lot of people. It's one of those things that people are, you either like Romita Jr. or you don't, and it's hard to stomach his artwork at times, well, most of the time for me. But we'll see if the story can hold it together enough so that I can read through and enjoy something out of this title. But I'm looking forward to Johns' take on Superman in the New 52. I'm not looking forward to looking at this book. So it's up to you if you want to get it. But yeah, Superman number 32. If you're ready for Johns, you're ready for Johns. The next up is, and lastly, is Trees number 2 by Warren Ellis. The first one left off really, really not well. It just kind of stopped. It was so abrupt. I actually laughed. So I'm going to check out the second issue and see if I'm going to continue trying to read this title. But Trees. So it's something to do with big giant trees growing out of the earth up to the sky or something. And they're alien. I don't know. Not enough was explained in the first issue. Maybe I'll have more if I read issue 3. So that's my pull list for this week. Definitely a lot of titles. I think there was like 33 that I ended up taking home to either put my or read for my collection and then read in general. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please, if you have any comments, leave them below. If you're on Twitter, my Twitter handle is Brock Sager. Record the Comics Conspiracy podcast every Monday. You can tweet questions, and we sometimes answer those live. If you've noticed behind me, there's this really, really tiny Green Lantern power battery. This is actually a power battery from the new HeroClix War of Light series. Really, really nice little piece. If you're into HeroClix, This is one of the participation prizes for the new War of Light, the special thing that's going on with HeroClix. If you're in the Bay Area, Clickin' Anonymous is where you want to go to check that out. But we do Friday Night Clicks at the shop, where you can say hi to Marshall and Omar. Yep. And besides that, thank you for watching. I forgot the one thing. I was not able to pick up Dead Body Road Volume 1, or the trade paperback that came out this week. Is the ad if you're on my blog from Amazon. It's amazing. Justin Jordan did a great job with that book. The art's awesome. So if you have not read Dead Body Road yet, the trade is out this week, and you should pick it up because it's really, really good. I'm actually going to hopefully get my hands on my trade paperback for myself in the next couple weeks. So thank you again for watching. I know I've said it 3 times, but third time's a charm. And you can check out more of these posts here on YouTube, on my channel. You can also find more stuff on conspiratorbrock.com. But